Hey, look, Mom, can you see me?
Welcome to Alex Jones, Black Helicopters, Obama coming for your guns. This is so cool.
All right, we're fucking live, guys. So thanks for being here on the Let's Legalize Abortion podcast. My name is Bo. Introduce yourself here.
I am John, Proper Villans. I am a DJ, music producer, and hot sauce enthusiast.
My name's Ash, Treasure Fingers. I do a few different things.
He's a stun cock.
Cool stuff.
Sweet.
Only do cool stuff.
Okay, so I'm really excited to get these guys here. It has nothing to do with abortion, but that's just a current event that we are not going to talk about, or maybe we will. I don't know.
Oh, wait, I can give you my abortion take real quick. All right. Well,
let's do it.
I have a dichotomy of it. One is like dudes just should not have any say about abortion. Like if you don't have a vagina, you can't make a law about it. And that's my official position. My other position is like I'm way pro-abortion. Like especially on airplanes. Like I think abortion should be legalized up to like 3 years old.
Yeah, because
like
there's always a crying baby.
It came out of your body. You should be able to kill it until it can like wipe its own ass.
I think they should have a no crying baby sign next to the no smoking sign. And when it comes in, you have to stow your babies like in the overhead.
I was on the plane. I was designing like a helmet that would go over the baby. It would have like you could fit like a smartphone in there, and it would just play like Peppa Pig, and then it would have like noise canceling, but the opposite of noise canceling headphones. It would just like mute the baby crying, and then it would have just like aerosolated Xanax. So if the baby starts like shaking stuff, you just hit the aerosolated button. But then I was like, why don't I just like that sounds awesome, and I want it just like an adult version.
Sweet. Well, do you have any abortion jokes there, Ash?
No, but I really like this comedian Corey Holcomb, and he's got really good abortion jokes. So go check him out and laugh at his, because I would just retell his in a terrible way.
Have you heard of?
Actually, I do remember one. He came out, and right off the bat, they greet the audience, they say whatever, but he was like, "Hey, you fellas might want to get with me after this show. I found an abortion clinic that's got pool tables." Obviously, the crowd was like,
"Oh my god."
Hit him.
Have you heard of Anthony Jeselnik?
Yeah.
Yes, his new special is amazing.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. He's so dirty. He's like, I went to one of his shows one time and he came out and the first thing he said was, "What's up, you pieces of shit?" He's so mean. I followed his Instagram too, and he just posted a picture of this woman at a wedding. She was holding a baby, and then the lady tossed the bouquet, and she dropped the baby and caught the bouquet, and he like commented, he's like, "I love this girl right here." Pretty, like, I've never seen a comedian do like basically a full hour of like fucking
just one-liners,
super dark,
dead
shock
baby
humor.
jokes.
Yeah,
totally.
And it's so calculated. Like he's obviously written it and rehearsed it.
Yeah,
times and times over. So
yeah, it is. I mean, he's pretty methodical for sure. Do you guys have any like personal favorite comics? I'm kind of big into comedy.
I'm a Stanhope fan.
Ooh,
yeah. I'm not gonna say all time because his last special was a little like, "Oh hey, I'm drunk. Let's get the camera out." But Beer Hall Push is like that's my Led Zeppelin 4 right there. Yeah.
My new one that I love is Kevin Tate, and I saw him on.
Dude, you're introducing me right now.
Def.
I didn't know
one of the newer like Def comedy specials. It's on HBO right now. If you got HBO Go or something.
So
he's super funny though. But his entire set on there was about just how he's like super jealous, and how he didn't trust anything with his girls, and then sometimes he didn't trust their confidence because he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna head out to Vegas with the boys for the weekend." And she's like, "Okay, cool, do you?" And he's like, "What you got going on this weekend?" Like,
yeah.
He's like, "I'm staying right here. I'm not going anymore." But
what's your
he's super good.
streaming platform of choice for like binge watching shit?
Lately I've gone off the grid, true like cord cutting style, and did a Plex server.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
It's fire. I can log in from anywhere when I'm traveling.
I can tell. Like, I take notes when I like interview people because
Yeah.
I get like all kinds of good like things I've never heard of, and you're dropping bombs on me
Yeah.
right now. I'm gonna have
No,
a
that's
full
sick,
sheet.
'cause-
You're like really good at the internet. Like I'm pretty good. Like I got a little Russian site. I kick them like $5 a year, and I just get whatever I want. But like you got a server, bro.
Yeah. So I had Netflix, but I was getting pissed off because they would remove shows, and they would add shows and remove shows, and then
It's tough to
Hulu,
find
same
stuff.
thing.
And Hulu's got ads.
Yeah,
Unless you pay $40.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
got the
take the
free
shit.
Hulu with Spotify, and then I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot what ads are like. And then I got ad blocker, so I just like, yeah. So it's
weird
just like,
silence.
oh, there's a cool little Instagram break while I'm watching TV on Hulu.
What's an ad blocker?
It's just like a little like Firefox extension, and it just makes instead of seeing ads, you just see like, oh, turn off your ad blocker, and I'm like, nah, bitch, I didn't pay for this.
It's crucial for YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
But the Plex server, it's like I just get all the shows, I put them on my server, and watch whatever I want. It's never not there.
Are you a Game
And
of
I can get a lot
Thrones
of weird. I can get a lot of weird shit that's not on. You know, obviously I can get anything, but the stuff that's not on Netflix or Hulu. So, Game of Thrones.
Are you a Game of Thrones?
No, I've never watched it, and I don't. I try not to come across as like that. I don't watch that show like snobby, but I just
You're watching it
legit-
tomorrow night because it's the season finale. I'm fucking strapped in.
You can
for that
watch it.
shit.
You can watch it. I've seen half of the first episode, and not in a derogatory way. I just kind of dozed off, and I was like, "This show's way too complex that I actually have to pay attention to it." And so I'm saving all those shows for whenever I'm in the hospital or
I was
something.
going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
The hospital.
If I break a leg and I have
Yeah.
time to kill, I'm watching it for
I mean,
sure.
yeah, if you have like 70 hours handy.
Yeah, that's what it's up to, right?
Yeah.
70 something hours.
Have
So
you
like
ever-
that, Mad Men. I don't know. There's a bunch of shows that I haven't watched that I know are really good that I'll like.
Have you ever been in the hospital?
No, I mean, no longer than a day. I think
Same. I'm retardedly healthy.
I can't even recall
no
being there
fault
like
of
a
my
full
own.
day, like a couple hours at most.
So what are you? I see you drinking some Hennessy right now, which is dope.
Yeah,
You got the. I like the product placement here. You got the Hennessy
I'm cur-
facing the camera.
I'm trying to get my Deep Eddy sponsorship going. They're
There
the
you go.
unofficial sponsor right now, but I'm trying to get the official sponsorship going.
You
but
heard
we
it
do-
here first. Deep
We
Eddy,
do have
holla
some
at us.
kind of. We do have some partners in the works, which I'll mention. Fortune 421. Do you know them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've played at Pool House, so I guess you know Pierce.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how we first met. Actually, I'm sure you don't remember it because it was years ago, but it was in
It's the same guys from the Vegas pool party.
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. It was. You and I played at Club Liquid, or I guess Liquid Pool, in the 110 degree CDJ melting heat.
Yeah.
At the pool.
Scorching.
And that's how I met you. And it was cool for me to meet you then because I was, like we mentioned before, playing at a place called Voyeur every now and then through Johnny. And he always told me I needed to know you because I was from Atlanta. And he's like, dude, Treasure Fingers is cool, man. You need
Yeah,
to know
Johnny's
this
the
one, right?"
dude.
I was like, how did I not know you? Like when I left in about 2008, what were you up to 2008?
I would have probably just moved to New York, moved to Brooklyn.
How long were you there? Is that how you guys met? Did
Um,
you meet through music?
We met through the Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, we were internet friends first, but
Yeah.
we probably met in real life in New York for sure.
Yeah.
I was there for about three or 4 years, and then came back to
He
Atlanta.
lived in New York. Shout out Dallas. Say something on the mic real quick, dude.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, things are fucking up. We got Dallas on the control center. Ask
Yeah,
Dallas
blame him.
any questions that you got for Ash or John.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little slow too today.
It's okay,
It's
Billy.
both three-letter names.
If you got any questions, you might be able to hit refresh there and
Yeah,
it'll
I
pop
gotcha.
through, but make sure it's muted. But yeah,
Yep.
Dallas is our new Jamie. We got a new control runner every now and then. So if you're watching this and you want to come over here and be the permanent guy, I'm looking for some help. But anyways, so you guys met through the internet. You were what part of New York?
Like Williamsburg, just Union and the BQE.
I lived in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
He was there for a while, and you're there now, right?
I live in Manhattan.
Okay.
I'm the last
Oh,
person.
sophisticated.
He's
Yeah.
the last person living in
I
Manhattan.
know
It's,
L-Train for
it's
you.
nice because I wake up and I just got that nice, like, smug sensation of living in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it there, but I don't know if I could live there unless I had a helicopter and about $100,000 coming in every month. It seems like it's a lot of like the car horn thing. Just like kind of irks me. Even though I'm downtown Atlanta right now, it's just I hate. That's one of my pet peeves is car horns because you almost never really need to honk your horn. All
Yeah,
it
you really
is-
don't need to.
It's like all it is just saying "fuck you." So every time I hear the horn, it's like there's a polite horn. Like if the light turns green and you're sitting there, you could go beep, but it's never that. It's always "fuck you," beep, and that's like
I find it relaxing to be
gets in my hair.
perfectly
It's
honest.
it happens so much that it's just background. Like,
No, I live on
White
36th
noise.
Street, right by the Midtown Tunnel. Please don't come to my house and murder me.
Honk the horn. He loves the horn honk.
Yeah,
so-
no, and so like I live like right by the like at rush hour, like everyone's stuck on 36th Street trying to get into the tunnel. So like sometimes I'll just take a little nap and I'll open the window and I call it the Symphony of 36th Street because it like starts at the stoplight and then just like works its way down the street and kind of like echoes through that like between
I
the
feel
buildings.
you on the ambient car horns from the place. I used to, live downtown right next, like literally I lived right next to Voyeur. Like
Oh, shit.
you look out
Yeah.
my window and there's Voyeur. And for those listening, if you don't know Voyeur, it was a pretty groundbreaking club, I guess,
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
time. They
the
had
shit.
one of the first like LED walls and it was in basically a Times Square of San Diego that anywhere you go was basically playing kind of open format, top 40. But this place, shout out to Johnny and Farley, they were like, fuck that, we're playing underground electro house. And it was like 2 years of like just really awesome
yeah, it was nuts.
electro
I
stuff.
had insane nights there.
Yeah, and I went to one of your nights there actually after he told me to like meet up with you.
That was
Dude,
well one of
it's
my
on
first,
YouTube right now. If you want to go YouTube Voyeur Treasure Fingers,
Yeah,
you'll
there's
see
probably a
just
few.
how crazy it was. That was before they took that wall out.
Well, one of my first times there, Johnny fucking gave me Rumple Mints.
That was like an
Fuck.
industry drink for a minute.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah,
like,
nice
all right,
breath,
this is
huh?
like rough, but it's kind of refreshing. So, anyways, I'm DJing, and then I don't know what's happening, but I'm on the floor and fucking throwing up, and they're like trying to help me. This was like after
After you
lights were
finished
on.
the set.
Yeah, people were
Okay.
out. Yeah. And then I was just like so embarrassed. Like, damn, I can usually handle my alcohol, but like,
Is it minty coming
Fuck.
up as it is minty going down?
I don't even know. There's no memory of it.
Yeah,
But
cinnamon.
they'll forever like fucking hold that shit over my head.
Yeah.
But that happened, and then I called my agent.
the
next morning-
fingers can't hang.
But I called my agent. And I told her like, man, I fucked up. I like drank too much. I was like, probably a fucking idiot. So tell them like, I'm sorry. Hope to play again. But
Yeah.
I thought like maybe I was ruined. And she's like, oh no, they already called me and they already got another date on the books for you. So
Nice. I
practice
ruined-
your drinking.
I totally ruined myself over there. Johnny, I'm going to tag you in this, but I this is how I ruined myself over there. Johnny was super nice and put me up like for my birthday, which actually happened to be like on Halloween. So it was a costume party, and I was drunk and I ejected the CD that was playing. So like everything stops, and then Edward, the light guy, he puts the spotlight on me and then stops all the lights, and like I take a deep breath, and in my head I'm going, oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened. It's like 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like the electro house rage days, and it was like peak everything.
Were you in your underwear? Because this sounds like a nightmare.
No, it was an absolute nightmare. But hang on, the story actually does get good. So I take a deep breath, and I'm like, oh my God, and everything's going in super slow motion in my head. And then luckily, I avert eye contact from the whole crowd, and I look down, and there's just a microphone there. And I just remember going, oh my God, I hope this is on. I grab it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta say something. And I was like, all right, everybody, it's time for the costume contest. And then everyone was like, yeah. And I literally look up at Johnny, and he's over the railing staring at me, and I'm like, and then I just start going, all right, everybody who's in a costume, get down here, right on the floor right now. And then
Wait,
I'm
was
like,
there an actual contest?
no, there wasn't.
You just scared
I
me.
just said that. Yes. Swear to God.
perfect.
That's amazing.
Swear to God.
Because my first instinct was just make some fucking noise. We're gonna rage, and like any mistake turns into a
Yes.
Aoki moment. But
So I'm all while like I see people like actually coming down, and I'm flipping like through my CDs because I know I gotta like put something back in that can't be the same track that I just ejected. This was CDJs or CDs, by the way. That gives you an instance for how long ago it was. I wasn't playing USBs. I had my book out, which shout out to the record collectors and the CD book havers up in the bitch.
oh, you still got the books.
Dude, I got the books, man.
Yeah,
There's some
I found mine the
CDRs,
other
bro.
day.
yeah.
Some gems in there.
But
I mean, USBs are good, but like the sound of like a transcoded 128 MP3 burnt to CD, there's just something magical in it. It's a warmer sound.
I think he was joking. But anyways, okay, so I put the CD in, and I'm like, all right, if everybody thinks like I just found 2 people that look like the best, and I was like, if everybody thinks like she should win, make some noise, and everyone's like, yeah. I was like, if everybody thinks this guy should win, make some noise, and they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, you win, and I threw him a CD and I pressed play, and that was it. And then I like looked, I got Johnny afterwards, and I was like, Johnny, I swear to God, I didn't mean to do that. And I think still to this day, he thought that I just did that. So, and I don't think I never played there again after that. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Johnny, I'm sorry. Okay, if you're still booking,
No more
See,
costume
you
contests.
should have committed farther to the line. Just been like, dude, improv comedy, costume party, like.
Yeah,
Or
I used to
contest,
actually
yeah.
do comedy shows out there, and I invited Johnny to a few of those as well.
Yeah.
It was good times. I like San Diego. I'm headed back there to Splash House. Actually, you guys know
yeah.
Splash House?
Yeah, I've done that before.
I have not done
Nice.
Splash House.
Yeah, so we did our bachelorette party at Splash House last year, and then I saw Splash House post up like, hey, we're doing a contest. If you have pictures and videos, like send them to us, and we'll choose the best person to that submits, and we'll give you free tickets for this year. And so my buddy, who was kind of my co-best man, took a video of the whole thing and documented it and gave it to me and Joanna for our wedding present. And it was like all our Splash House trips. So I just submitted that to him, and it was like dope, and I won.
Oh, sick.
So
That's crazy.
we're going back. Pretty excited. We got like a hotel and everything lined up. That's in a couple weeks here, actually. I think is EDC going on right now?
That's this weekend.
You guys-
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
Yeah.
What are your like? I left Atlanta for a while. So when did you move back from New York?
Late 2011, I think.
Mhm.
Sometime around then, 2012.
And so, if you could please kind of walk me, while I was gone, walk me through from your perspective, the scene from. Well, why did you move back? First of all.
I was traveling a lot, and I had split up with my my ex in New York, which would have been me paying rent by myself or trying to find roommates or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gone all the time anyways. I know Atlanta well. I know how cheap it is, and the airport is fucking great. I can go anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty much direct. So
Yeah.
yeah, I drove a truck down, dropped my boxes off. I live with a
Your
friend
boxers?
no, my boxes.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'm gonna get naked
Yeah.
and just go through them.
had a bunch of boxers. Yeah, I drove down, dropped my shit off at a friend's house, and like went back to the airport and kept traveling, and then finally, would stop in and found my own apartment and built up from there. But yeah, I moved back basically just from traveling. It wasn't worth it living in New York.
So I see you now doing parties here. You're rocking a record label, which we'll get into in a little bit, which I think is awesome. But when did you start throwing parties here?
When I first moved back, we did a Wednesday night party at Sound Table that was called Loose Club.
Is that place still there?
Yeah. Sound Table's still there. We did that, and we also did a Sunday pool party called Recovery Sessions, and that was at the W Hotel downtown. And they were fun, but it was
That place was small and not
Yeah.
conducive. I went there and tried to.
it's very hard to do events there, and we just the management at the time, the bar manager, I don't know, we weren't on the same page, so we did like 2 years there and then just cut it. And Sound Table was sick, but it's like running a weekly on a Wednesday. It was just like, it's a lot of work for not, sometimes it would be completely rammed, and then other times there would be, 6 of us there. So, and also for the type of, I feel like the house that we were playing just wasn't like now, you go to Ravine or District and like these guys are booking house now, but back then, opera, they weren't really booking house acts.
I
so.
kind of paid attention to it when I left a little bit, and I feel like I moved back at the perfect time for house music. I moved back immediately when Ravine, District, and Believe opened up. Like
Yeah.
I moved.
It's crazy
None
now.
of that was there,
It was like overnight, man.
and then I moved here, and boom, and then I saw Steve Lawler and Danny Tenaglia are coming in, and shout out to Liquified booking their Mind Control, and just gosh, Liquified killing it with the house bookings, all of the Dirty Bird, and last night we had some Anjuna Beats people, Anjuna D,
Yeah.
and we got Digweed coming in. The dubstep game is off the chain. It's like Atlanta is
Atlanta's a
like,
crazy scene now.
what's cracking. So, but take me through the journey of 2011 to how the music like went by and to where it is now, from your perspective.
Just in Atlanta.
Yeah, just here.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear your
I mean,
perspective because you're.
We're also going to want to see footnotes and citations.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear about New York too, because
Well, there's always I feel like there's always, the lifeline, like the underground. There was Sound Table, Music Room opened up. I can't remember what year Music Room was there before, but it wasn't. It was when Kieran and them took it over. There's Wild Pitch opened up. So
add Pierre in here.
yeah, so for a while there was like, small rooms, but this scene of just underground, and then Hernan doing Alley Cat stuff. Just tons of different crews. But it's like, for as big as Atlanta was, I would always be kind of bummed that, you bring in some, like European DJ and, it's 200 people max show up because like just the scene wasn't that built up yet. But I don't know what, I think it's just like kind of the tech house bubble and Dirty Bird popping off and, Fisher, Chris Lake, that whole thing just getting like mega big. And then now we've got actual big mega clubs like Booking House, which is pretty crazy. I never would have expected Atlanta to be, on that level.
Do you think that that is exemplary of what the United States dance music scene in general is doing?
Yeah. I think it translates across because you see what's happening on festival bookings now, and the same, house music's definitely getting, where only EDM and, monsters of dubstep and
So
these really big names
If
dominate.
dubstep and trap music teamed up and trance and house teamed up and they fought each other, who do you think would win?
On a global level, definitely house and trance. If you're in like Colorado or Atlanta, I think we're going down because the dubstep, that shit is too.
I feel like dubstep would probably bite and like do eye gouging.
Yeah, they wouldn't
probably
fight
win.
fair
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
wouldn't fight fair.
Yeah, they'd bring like sand and like gas and stuff.
But I think in a lot of places, how especially like deeper house has risen to pretty high level to compared to other genres that are super high energy and super
Dusky
like in
came
your
through.
face,
Shout out Liquified, Dusky.
Oh, nice.
What's New York doing right now with the music? I mean, I went to New York just a few months ago, and I just looked at the place and I was like, "Oh my god, it's just like so big. You could never leave and never go to all the places."
I have no idea anymore.
It's no,
No, because everyone's like, oh, like, because you move to Atlanta and there's like trends. Like New York, there's like 100 billion things happening at once, and if you're not clued in, you'll just have no idea.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
Like there's a lot of micro scenes like that build from there too.
Like you can go to like, I mean, if you want to go to like a soca party, like there's a soca party every night, or if you want to go to like ghetto gothic and go hear like crazy like Vogue ballroom music, like that's just pop. And like a lot of these like things like these scenes, like they purposely make it hard to do. Like I was trying to go to ghetto gothic last month, and like they wouldn't post like where the goddamn party was. You have to like kind of like screenshot it on Venus X's like Insta stories, and like you'll kind of be able to get a ticket, and it's still just rammed. Like they'll still do like 300 kids in like a outlaw venue or whatever. Yeah. So Webster Hall closed down and reopened. Now it's like a concert venue. So it's kind of like it's weird. I went there last week for Troy Boy and Infuse, and
nice.
I was like, oh, this is like. You could still kind of smell the gritty Webster like smell, but they'd really like scrubbed out a lot of it. Like they got it down from like a 9 or a 10 to like a solid like 3. Yeah.
So you say kids. I mean, at this point, Ash and John, where do you guys see yourselves fitting in the scene? Are you like, are you the crotchety old man, or are you fucking killing it and the younger kids don't know what they're talking about, or are you like still young? Are you still 18?
Yeah, I still feel young. I still feel super young. But I also feel like I need to just chill out and be like an adult and not really go out as much and just focus on, especially running the label and all that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's easy to just stay in my little hermit hole at home and run the label, make tunes, and go out and play shows when I need to.
When did you launch?
2015.
And how much of that time is that taken? Is like that like a full time, oh my gosh, I have to do this more than I can produce my own music, or is it kind of easy? Like walk me through that one.
It's a good balance. It definitely took more, I think time-wise I can handle it. And I do, the art direction and even all the video editing and all the pretty much anything you see like video or something, like I do all of that too. So that stuff doesn't weigh that hard on me. But cost-wise, I didn't realize like how much just to, like, you can do it like, and we do it on a really, really small shoestring budget, like hardly anything. But I realized to really get to where we want to go, it takes money, unfortunately. So that's
Is
kind of
that
been
money in promotion?
Yeah, it's promotion. It's, you got to get some sort of PR. It's like we haven't got into it yet, but we need to start kind of running ads and doing some targeted, Instagram ads, and because it's cool. We've been lucky to have a nice following and really good fan base so
The
far.
music is there for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I
so
checked
with
it
a good
out.
product, if someone hears it, hopefully, they're sharing it with their friends. So what we have now is just true like organic growth, which is awesome. And we, obviously want to keep that going, but we're trying to just step it up and run it like a proper, like, strategize campaigns around releases and being like, let's get this guy over on, like, even doing podcasts, like, let's get this guy in this podcast the week before his releases and stuff like that, just coming from a more strategic standpoint rather than just like, let's make some artwork and upload
The
to
artwork
SoundCloud.
is there, is dope. It's cohesive. I mean, it's disco. It works. The music is for sure there. I've, checked out. You're on my Beatport follow, so I see what you do. And actually, I've heard your sound kind of change a little bit. And then my favorite track you've ever done, actually, I think, is Quantum Funk.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how your sound has changed over the last couple of years, and what you, I guess, relate to, and if it's going to change. Are you all
Yeah. And I actually have strong thoughts about this now because, like, in hindsight, you kind of, see everything clear, I guess. But I've always been probably a little, like, selfish and always up for, like, experimenting and getting excited by new things. So as an artist, your sound just, like, keeps moving and you keep evolving. But I started thinking of it as like, if I had opened a restaurant, Treasure Fingers the restaurant, and I made like fire ass Italian food, and it was hype, and everyone went and told all their friends about it, and magazines wrote about it, and then everyone started coming there, and then I just started making Mexican food one day. Even if the Mexican food was super good, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck happened to all your Italian food? Because we like that. Mm-hmm. So I started thinking of it as like that, like as a true brand. And basically where I'm at now, it would have been someone who was into, cross the dance floor, new disco, kind of like that sound. But is also into every other thing that I'm into, which is I have like some super crazy niche like interests. And have just followed me the whole route and been like, yeah, we fuck with you 100% on everything, which is like, if you do, then major props. But I feel like a lot of people probably were like, yeah, we don't like what you're doing now. We like the earlier stuff. Or some people only like what I do now and they don't like the earlier stuff. So it's kind of put me in a weird place. But a lot of the music I've written the past year that I haven't released, it's all been just disco shit, like sample-based disco loops. So that's kind of, I'm going to just go back to that sound and just kind of stick with it.
I like it all. My personal favorite is Quantum Funk.
Yeah, that one kind of happened. So I had an EP, the Quantum Funk EP, which Quantum Funk wasn't finished yet. Body Rockin' and Big Kick Energy, those were finished. I had another song that was going to be the lead, and everyone I showed it to, they're like, it's cool, but it doesn't make sense with like these other tracks, which is like, what I was going back to. It's just being a little too like diverse. So I made Quantum Funk like maybe like 2 days tops. I was like, fuck, we got to send this to the distributor. Everything's already set for like the release, and I don't have an A side for it. So I just went in and started making some shit, and was like, it's like one of my favorite things I've done in a while too, where I was like, this has turned out fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just the sound design is really weird on it, but it's got a good groove, and it's just chugging. Like, it sounds like the name Quantum Funk to me. Like,
where did the name Quantum Funk come from? Like, do you know quantum theory?
no, I don't. But it came from trying to make something as funky as I could that was completely quantized to 16th notes. Like, there wasn't the loose actual funk should not be quantized. It should be very free flowing. It should be just, But this, I was like, let's just make it like, and try to make that shit as funky as I can, with just sound design and overall just production. So that was the idea for it, and I think it sounds really sort of spacey and futuristic, but it still has like a funk element to it, which I think is kind of a bit strange, but
That does make sense. I like that. John, are you funky on the scale? Where does your funk lie on the scale of like funkiness?
What was the question?
So from a funk
how much do you
perspective,
quantize?
Like, how funky?
I know I was pulling out the one-liners before. I got nothing for that shit. Next one.
No, for real though. I
Yeah.
mean, so you produce house, correct?
Yeah.
And on your DJ sets, it's are you like a funky disco kind of guy? Are you more tech house, deep house? Like, have you always put out the same sound? Or
Oh
are you
no, I
changing?
used to be a dubstep DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what switched your gears? And while you say that, I'm gonna fuck with the sound. I think we're having a little static over
Okay.
here. But please do elaborate.
Let's see. I blew up in like 2011 off dubstep.
Yeah.
It was like completely random. Like, I did a bootleg of the Cataracts, and like I'd been making like electro house before, and I watched like a Skrillex tutorial video, and I was like, oh, I've got this Cataracts like instrumental acapella. Like, let me try and do this bootleg, and it ended up going like #1 on Hype Machine, and then they like licensed it and put it out, and we're like, hey, do you want to do like major label dubstep remixes for like a year? And then started getting these emails like, would you like to go play in Hawaii? And I'm like, why, yes, I would. So and like, don't get me wrong, like I like dubstep, but I'm not like I don't have like a Datsik tattoo on my arm, It was just sort of like, this is dope, like Rusko's dope. And then it was like fun, and then like Skrillex happened, and then everyone tried to sound like Skrillex, and then it turned into trap, and then trap turned to Skrillex.
So many people failed at that too.
Yeah, I mean, it just like I like obnoxious music, but I have like a threshold of obnoxious, and I kind of like it just jumped the shark. And so after that, I got into like actually like licensing stuff, because I'd done a bootleg. Well, actually, it wasn't a bootleg. It was like an unofficial remix of Childish Gambino, and it ended up like long story, like very long involved story that I will do the cliff notes of. But yeah, I ended up getting like a LA Clippers commercial where they were just like, make dub stuff for LA Clippers, and then they gave me just a hilarious amount of money, and I was like, I should do more TV commercials, and did that for a couple of years, and then and then was like, oh yeah, like as like more financially rewarding as that stuff is, like people would, your friends come over, your producer friends come over to your house, you're like, what'd you do this week? And I'm like, here, check out this Absolute Vodka commercial. I just did a fake David Guetta, and you're like, oh, there's no honor in this. There's no artistic integrity. I should probably make more dance music. And I was like, oh, let me go back to house and techno, which is like what I originally made.
So where do you fall on the scale of producer versus DJ, like in your soul? Are you more of a DJ or producer?
I mean, it was funny because I would say I come from producer, but I started playing shows again like pretty recently, and so now every morning I was like, oh yeah, I should like DJ every morning. Like, practicing makes you good at that. Oh yeah, I should practice that, and it's been really fun getting back into it. Just because like that was the other thing that kind of bothered me about dubstep and trap DJ. It's all like little like you're doing like little 8/16 bar cheat mixes, and it's like, I mean, play a really hard song, play another really hard song, cut it into a popular radio rap song, cut it back into a hard song, cut it back. It's, like you can kind of like, there's a cheat code to it, and it's not terribly, you can't get really diverse, and you can't, like, you're not taking anybody on a journey at a rhythm show, Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's cool. I'm not like knocking their style of music. Like, at least once a month, like my dubstep DJ homies are like, let's go to the rhythm show, and I'm just like, yeah,
I think it's a journey, but it's very short, like 2-minute journey. It's
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
let's chill. Oh shit, let's go crazy again.
Yeah, it's like
Where house is like the entire mix. is
yeah,
that.
it's like dubstep. It's like a Vine story, and like house music, it's like watching a documentary on Netflix. Like you can go places with it. And there's way more diversity of stuff. And like, I mean, because you say like tech house, that means like you have like tech house, and then you have like actual techno and actually house, and you can play pretty much anything in that giant spectrum of music and probably not clear the floor out, you know? So, I mean, you know, like your average dubstep DJ, you got like a couple, like maybe 150 tunes that you're going to go to. But house, you can have like your entire record collection and pull anything out at any time. And like, I mean, it could fall completely flat, but you know, if you know what you're doing, you can like get like, I mean, it's also house has just been around for 30 years, you know, like you can pull something out from the 80s. You can't really do that with dubstep. Like you kind of like it's weird to see there's actually a party, they're doing a throwback dubstep night in New York, like once a month, where they just play like 2011 stuff, and it's like, oh, that's vintage, and it's like that's like 7 years ago.
Yeah, and it makes for more co-ed friendly dance floors too, you know, where the dancing is a little bit more friendly, guy girl, like let's creep up on this girl and dance with her, whereas dubstep you might want to like accidentally punch her in the face or something, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, the girls are the hardest rail riders, though.
Headbanging.
Like those girls with the
they're all
bass
up front.
face.
They're
Yeah.
going crazy.
This is true, actually, so I could remove my past statement, but I am curious, who are you looking up to, or like who's influencing you right now? This is a question for both you guys.
I would say like from a production standpoint, definitely Green Velvet or Chris Lake. They're just like nonstop, just fucking anthems.
Were you at Chris's show?
No, not this past weekend.
I went there.
Yeah, I meant to go, but I didn't make it. But it's just like endless. Like the production is just really, really good, but the track ideas are also, they're like at that perfect spot to where it's like super interesting, but it's not over the top or like cheap, corny type stuff like some other tracks are. It's just like it's so well done. So those two definitely from a production standpoint, but I don't know really. I kind of just draw it from everywhere.
You have an all-time fave, like what got you into it or anything?
Yeah, I'm like a weirdo though. Like house music was a bit late for me, but so my all-time top dude for house music is Armand Van Helden, like easily. But before that, and still
Splash House.
Yeah, I've seen it. I was on a cruise, and it went to a private, like it's like an Asian version of I don't know, Holy Ship or something, but it's called Ship Somnia. We went from Singapore to Thailand. Then there's a private beach party in Thailand, and only Pete Tong and Armand Van Helden played that one. So we got to a beach and sat on a beach and listened to them play, which was like
Thailand?
incredible. Yeah.
Whoa.
And then we got back on the ship and went
And
back.
Armand's Instagram is like life goals.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I don't even think I follow him on Instagram.
that he stopped posting a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
I never.
you look up
He's
to
never
it.
on social
Yeah.
media, so. But yeah, he's also super nice. Like I first met him when Fool's Gold was fucking with me, and then him and A-Track started doing Duck Sauce, and I was like, A-Track hit me up for some tracks for their mixes, and it led to me being signed to Defected too because of being on a Duck Sauce mix. But yeah, so he's like my number one as far as like, it's just always a really interesting track, and he's been very diverse, but he kills it every time he puts something out. But before that, like Square Pusher's probably still like my all-time, just like mind blown. Like this dude is a fucking genius. From songwriting to production to performance, like I just can't like even wrap my hand around like the level that he operates at, and how he did it back, when he first came out. With now we've got insane amount of VSTs and plugins and software where it's like back then they were on some real primitive ass shit. So, yeah, most of my inspiration comes from like kind of the weirder experimental side, for sure.
So when you going back to the boat in Thailand, was that random that they were there, or you were on that boat to go see
No,
them?
it was a whole like festival. So,
Okay. That sounds amazing.
I'm trying to think. It was me. I can't remember who was all actually on the boat. Yolanda Be Cool, me, Amtrak, Castle. Fuck, it was a really cool lineup though. But we played parties on the ship. But I think Pete Tong and Armand were just like, "Fuck that ship, we're not getting on there." So they flew them into Thailand and drove them to the beach to play that part. But that was all part of, they're on the flyer too, and it was all part of the itinerary. So
Cool.
we sailed, we parked, we got on little boats, went to the beach.
Is that
partied.
one of your all-time favorite shows that you've?
No, because I thought I'd never been on a cruise before, but I already had just negative thoughts about it because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. The ship was like really outdated, at least in my. I don't know how they usually are, but I was like, this thing seems pretty old. And then my wife and I both got food poisoning, so we're stuck on a ship with food poisoning.
Do you like Thai food?
Yeah, it wasn't Thai food though. It was like and then when we got to Thailand, we can't go anywhere except for this little tiny private beach. It was all fenced off and it had like its own little workers and stuff. So it wasn't even like we could have been anywhere. We could have been in fucking South Carolina on like a little private beach.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely wasn't anything Thai related besides the workers. So yeah, I didn't like it. Armand played a 6 set though.
Nice.
So yeah.
What is one of your favorite set you've ever played? If you have one.
Man. One of them I just discovered again. I tweeted a few days ago. I was like cleaning out server space, and I found like a whole folder of old DJ mixes. But one of them is a live recording from somewhere in DC. I don't know where it's at, but it was probably around 2010 when I was just like super banging like filter disco type shit. And it's 2 hours, and it's sort of relentless, just like crazy disco house. And then there's a little bit new disco and some vocal stuff in there towards the end. But I listened to it again, and I was like, I kind of fuck with that. Like,
Nice.
a proud moment. But I think a lot of them, I don't know. It's a lot of just nights of nightclubs, low amount of sleep and alcohol, and even having the time of my life. It's like, I just did that the night before, so I don't know if like, but yeah, that's it. Just listening back to it, it kind of brought back some cool memories. So that was
What
fun.
about you there, John?
Yeah.
You've been silent. Are you
He's,
okay?
he fell. He's sleeping with his eyes open.
You need some more coffee? You want some espresso? Some tea?
Why, thank you. I would love some.
I get you.
I just
Or
named
text
like
it.
8 things. Which
Yeah,
one?
I don't know. Coffee. Black coffee. Just put it in the vein.
All right.
But,
more coffee, please. And a beer. IPA. A creature comfort.
Yeah.
The beer scene in Atlanta is
Yeah, stepping
much
up.
different than when I left, for sure. I guess that's just beer
Everything
scene.
in general is just it's
Yeah.
becoming like a real big
Do they have
city.
CBD beer yet?
No.
No.
Definitely not here.
Found a project. Wait, no, but they have CBD beer.
They
It's
got
not in Atlanta.
They got
Okay.
it somewhere for sure.
I've been doing this thing on Twitter
Everything
where
exists.
I'm trying to tweet a joke where it's like, oh, we'll come up with this new CBD, blah, blah, blah. And every time I tweet something, they're like, oh, yeah, we already have that. And then they just send me like the link. And it's like, I started with like CBD lube. Like, I was like, that's a fucking joke.
that-
And they're like, no, that's a legit product that rocks. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what, like we live in a simulation.
Yeah. But we do. We should get into
CBD,
that. too.
everything works, or is it
Yeah.
out there? It exists.
Yeah, they put it at CBD in just about every. I think maybe CBD motor oil hasn't been taken, but I don't know what they would actually do.
CBD. Are you a hot sauce connoisseur?
I am a hot sauce. Well, I'm a hot sauce collector. I got really into hot ones. Oh, thank you. And like watching hot ones, I started ordering all the sauces, and so I just got like. I got the last dab and the bomb, like the 2 really hot ones, just as like a joke, because like I realized that like the male ego is incredibly fragile, and you can exploit it for like the benefit of just like punking your friends. So like I have this whole collection of hot sauce like in my kitchen, like where you eat, and then people
Is it
come
like
over.
ridiculously hot? The
Yeah,
dab
yeah,
one?
those 2 are like they're insane. Like I take a drop of the last dab and I put it in like a giant thing of Cholula, and it makes it like Inferno. So I can't imagine but like you just leave them out, and then like I'll cook food, I'll be cooking food for my buddies and whatever, and then they'll be like, oh, you want some hot sauce? To try this one, and then they'll definitely like, what about that one? I'm like, don't try that one. That's gonna fuck up like your afternoon. And they'll be like, oh, what? Oh yeah, and then they're like. And I'll be like, dude, don't do that. That's like dumb. Like that's a fucking party favor. And they're like, I gotta try it. And they dump it on there, and I get the camera out, and then I just like Instagram story them. And they're like, you fucked up. And I'm like, bro, I told you.
Have
Yeah,
you
fuck
seen the YouTube videos of the guy with the Carolina Reaper pepper, and he's just in Vegas like, I'll pay you $100 to take a bite of this?
Yeah.
You seen that? It's not good. Don't ever do that. Carolina Reapers.
Yeah, I'm not
are-
into
Yeah,
that
that's
shit.
just
They basically
mean.
eat them and throw up everywhere, and they.
That's like just being like, hey, stranger, can I mace you for $100?
And yeah, he got a bunch of people, but
Yeah.
go watch that shit. And watch this. Do you fuck with Elon Musk at all?
I mean,
You just were talking about the simulation, so I was.
I mean, like the thing is like, I like I don't like I appreciate certain things he's doing. Like, I mean, like here's the thing, like most billionaires are fucked up people. Like there's no like on it like. There's no like I'm an ethical person. I just work really hard and whoops, I got $1 billion.
Hang on,
like,
though.
You did
Hang on.
something sketchy, you know.
Hang on. Let me stop you real quick because I do 95% agree with that, with
Yeah.
the exception of what if it takes billions of dollars to put plans into place that are going to help like society, which is kind of like what Elon's doing. He needs the capital in order to make the rockets.
Yeah, no,
to
I'm
make
saying
You got to be unethical at first. and
I
then
can. I'll
switch
continue
it.
my Elon Musk ground. Like the thing is like everyone wants to be like him to be like Tony Stark, and it's like no, he does like good things, but like he's just like an autistic super engineer who has like $1 billion. You know, like he's not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Like they killed Tony Stark. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I hope you watched the Avengers movie. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's not the Koch brothers. You know, like the Koch brothers are just like Mr. Burns incarnate. You know, like.
Yeah.
They're just like, how do we like can we like make $1 billion
How do we
by
hoard more
poisoning
of
the
this?
ocean? You know, like let's put petroleum in shampoo. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we're the elephant in the room is our president. I guess if you could, if he does actually have $1 billion, did he put his tax returns up? I mean,
He doesn't really have a.
He
I
doesn't.
mean, he's
Yeah,
the
he's not a
ultimate
villain.
like fake it dude. Like I can't believe we finally got someone.
What
from New
sucks
York.
about that is it gives so much hope to like fake it till you make it, like low level dudes, that it's just such a spike in this bullshit where it's like,
Oh no, it's like because the thing is like we're kind of like the scammer generation. You know,
yeah,
like,
totally.
like
That's
that,
I feel like that's American way though.
Yeah, like everyone can't be like YouTube stars or like influencers. Like we have to make something.
That's like when you were talking about Skrillex earlier, and a lot of people, everyone was trying to sound like Skrillex, but like
Yeah.
no one really could, with the exception of like 10 people. So it was like
Yeah.
kind of gross music coming out all over the place.
Yeah, because he was in an emo band for like 10 years, can write like 6 songs. Like,
Yeah.
like
Impressive shit.
My favorite thing is like YouTube, like live Skrillex remake, and there'll be like, four like classical like chicks who play like violins and stuff, and they'll just like redo like Scary Monsters. It sounds amazing because he wrote like
Yeah.
good chords. But if you just
That's one of my takes on, like, I've had people ask me the difference between like a song and a track. And a song can be, if you made a house song or a techno song, it could be covered by like the YouTube ukulele person.
Yeah.
If you made a track, it's just them hitting the fucking note.
That's a great-
Kind of like a tiny little riff for like 5 minutes. So
yeah. That said, the live version of the Bells, like with the orchestra, is
I guess you could get really like deep and heady with it on some
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
analogy there. But I also like what you said about how Armin kind of uses his Instagram, which is something I notice about Instagram, which is kind of, you can't avoid the old Instagram. So I'm curious. I notice people use it differently. Some people, you said he posted like life goals. Other people,
No, it wasn't life goal. Like you just like you look at his Instagram and it's like I'm on a beach or somewhere like that. Like you just look at the whole life and you're like, and like I mean, like part of it's like just like stories I hear from like A-Track and like
Yeah.
catch ups about him where it's just like, oh yeah, like he lives in this like converted warehouse. He doesn't live there anymore, but he used to live in like a converted warehouse that he turned into like a studio and like an area. And like, I mean, the thing is like he's like the Michael Jordan of like remixers, like
Yeah.
he's the guy who did the $60,000 remix, So it's just sort of like, oh, like you had like he had a 10-year run of just like #1 remixes of just selling, like 500,000, like things that don't happen anymore in the streaming age. And like I have no idea where I'm going with this, but like he's just like that dude,
yeah, totally.
he also was very like touring wise, he was very selective. Like takes like fucking 5 gigs a year, if that. I don't even know. I don't think
Yeah.
he's taken that even lately, but
Well, that's awesome. He's got Splash House then. Shout out.
yeah, anyone that books him definitely like
Work that shit.
yeah worked it, because he's like, I'm not leaving my house unless I'm getting
Yeah.
these bags.
But yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
you guys' Instagrams are a little different, and I'm curious how you guys see Instagram as a platform. Like I was looking at yours, and you had a lot of like comedy stuff. I showed my wife your
Thank you.
Caracol kitten, which was the craziest fucking shit I've ever seen. Please go look at that thing and listen to it. And then yours, you have a little bit less of that. So how do you use Instagram as a platform? Like, how do you see it? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's just another thing that like I have to post to because I'm a musician.
So do you feel like obligated to be posting all the time just to engage people on your page?
Yeah,
or-
I tend to do more stories because it'll just be like, oh, here's this. I mean, it's really cool. I found like I really like stories because it's like it just goes away, and it's not Snapchat, and we've like moved past like the I'm gonna put dog ears on myself kind of like era of that. But like if I'm working in the studio, which is like every fucking day, I can just be like, oh, here's 15 seconds of this.
Just so you know, we actually do use the Facebook algorithm to where you have dog ears on you right now.
Oh,
going
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So I can like I'll be like I'll just like Instagram stories like 15 seconds of like the song, which is like pretty much like the needle drop. Like when I'm going to listen for tunes, like they pretty much have like 15 seconds to capture some interest. And if I get like 15,000 comments, it's like, oh cool, like I'm onto something. If it's nothing, it's like, oh okay, maybe that idea is dog shit. And it also helps for mixing too, because it's like nowadays it can't just bang in the club. Like it has to bang like off your iPhone with no like earbuds, you know. And if I record it in Instagram, I can listen to it back and be like, oh yeah, like this bass could have like a little more like high end to it or whatever.
Yeah, I mix sometimes in the AirPods.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, millions of people have them.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
what
they
they're
just
listening
put it in
to.
there, you know. But about you, I mean, I use Instagram probably in not the best
I'm
way
awful
for
at it.
marketing, and I use it more as like a diary kind of like a journal.
Oh,
like
I feel like
look
that's a
back,
cool way to do it, though.
you know, look back at your thing, but it's not good for, you know, marketing, because I guess with marketing it needs to be like quantity over quality, and I'm using the quality over quantity method, but I don't know. I don't personally like the always having to be doing the phone. I like how you said you fucking shut that shit off sometimes.
Yeah,
for like
I'm pretty bad. Like
Yeah.
even like my best friends and people I should be getting back to, I'll like check my phone. It's like it'll be overwhelming.
got to though.
So I'm like, fuck, I'll get to this in a little bit. I got other shit to do, and then when I finally hit people back, I feel like an asshole. But yeah, I kind of just had to like I turned off. This was like years ago. I turned off notifications on like everything.
Oh, you ever had you actually had those going? I like shut
I
those
had
off
it.
the instant I got it.
Yeah,
shit.
well, it was kind of like once, I don't know.
That's good.
I guess starting to peak too with Treasure Fingers, and then just like you post something and then everyone liking it and replying, and then it starts
yeah.
blowing. You're like, fuck, cool, I appreciate this, but it's very detrimental to my productivity. So, but
Yeah,
I
like
feel
like
like
the-
I'm awful at it now. I'm trying to actually just like hype myself up and do a whole new like, hey guys, I'm back and I'm gonna use social media in a good way.
Dude, I hate
I'm gonna
promoting-
invite you guys into my life,
Dude,
but-
like promoting my music on social media is the worst because by the time it comes out, I'm so sick of hearing it that I'm like, it's just like,
Yeah.
hey guys, my new track's out. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I never want to fucking hear
I'm
it
so
again.
excited.
I was
I'm not
thinking
gonna-
of
point.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of making some short, like, kind of YouTube tutorials, not production-wise, but about like overall the big picture of like where, like, if you're just getting into production and you want to make it, just some like shit to look out for, like more just talking to people instead of like showing them a like recipe of how to make a Skrillex bass, you know. But one of those was going to be like, you've got to spend way more time like posting your shit that's actually out that can connect to fans rather than like, you know, like you like compressing a kick drum for fucking like
Yeah,
4 hours
4
of your
hours.
working process of like that probably won't ever come out. But that's where every producer I know is definitely on the like, yo, I'm on this new shit. Even when I played DJ sets, I had to like make a conscious effort to like maybe don't play a whole set of like unreleased music because some people like hearing shit that they know. So I had to like take a step back and just like, you know, scatter some hits through there. But
Yeah, that's the other thing that weirded me out was moving back to house. It's like, oh yeah, you can play a record that's like 2 years old and like that's fine.
oh yeah, it'll go
And
off.
people are like totally into it. Whereas like, you know, dubstep, that's like, you played stuff from 2 months ago. Are you fucking insane? It's not released. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people are listening. I just found out that clicking is actually getting out on the air. So I do want to say sorry about that shit. We'll figure it out on the next episode. But the the signal flow in a podcast, I mean, it seems like it's easy. You just tune in and you look at the screen and it's like us talking, but it's actually quite a sophisticated type of, audio signal flow, video signal flow that goes into it.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot happening.
even the smallest little detail could, dethrone everything. So thanks for bearing with us. But we're going to ignore that one. But I do think that's cool on the tutorial aspect. Would you, if, a lot of people follow Liquified that are, much younger than you, getting into music, wanting to DJ, what advice would you guys give to them as far as promotion and then actual studio tips? Like, what is something you wish you would have known 10 years ago that you know now?
I mean, the studio thing, I'm sure John's same way, but I've been doing this shit forever, and literally every week is like a new, like, oh, maybe I should try this or do this different. So you just got to put in, I think there's some saying that, 10,000 hours into whatever will make you an expert, and that's what you got to do.
No shortcuts is what
Yeah.
he just said, to boil it down.
Yeah, you might,
Knocking
I mean, you
back
might
off.
get lucky and make a banger and, everyone starts playing it out.
Harlem Shake, make a track and then make a Harlem Shake video to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the production tip, obviously there's a shit ton of resources and like materials out there to go through and learn how to produce. But just to fine tune it and really become like expert level, it's just time. Like there's no shortcuts about it. But my main thing, like I forget who I was talking to about this, but it was like if someone asked me, how to make it now, I wouldn't know, and I would be terrified to be trying to like make it in today's market because it seems fucking crazy. But I think the main things you can focus on is building your own specific sound, whether it's part of a trend happening, say like with tech house and everything happening now. You can do that, but put your own like spin on it, Like I get, just running the label, at least every week I get a non-Fisher track where I'm like, cool, you made a song that is like
Exists already.
70% Fisher, so that's gonna be a no. But
too quantized.
we get somewhere it's like, wow, this is really unique. And a lot of times it'll be a standalone song. And from me as a label, from the label perspective, I want to hear more. I want to see like what's the bigger sound. Like I almost tweeted the other day that like we're not really picking up any new demos right now, but if you're really ambitious and can send like 3 EPs, then we would probably, if we liked it, we would sign it then, because we're looking for more long-term acts to put, to build and really make a thing out of, rather than just put out, oh, here's another cool song,
And that's most professional labels too, I would.
Yeah. So we want just like, someone that's got their own sound. And obviously from a production standpoint, it has at least, harnessed, some studio prowess with that
I would
stuff. but-
assume you're looking for stuff that's going to work on a dance floor also.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Psycho Disco is all about, it's pretty much just club
So you're
music.
saying you're not interested in my ambient album?
I'm looking forward to getting down with you guys tonight. I'll tell you what, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I'm hyped.
But yeah, I guess, we're going to start wrapping it up here. I appreciate you guys coming out. Where would be the best place, your favorite place, if someone was to go look you up and A, check you out, and B, follow you? Where would you like that done at?
I think Twitter is like my favorite, even though I haven't been very active on there. But I usually I'm always going to post to Twitter if I have a new track drop in, or I'm hyping up, Psycho Disco stuff. But SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, everything's pretty much at Treasure Fingers or /Treasure Fingers.
Proper Villans?
Follow me on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because no one follows anyone on Spotify. And it like really helps.
Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify.
The Spotify follow really helps actually.
Yeah.
Do you
Or-
post, do you have stuff that's like on SoundCloud that's not on Spotify or vice versa?
No, but I think I'm kind of an insane person, and I have literally albums on my hard drive, like entire albums, but I also have singles for like, I don't know, 30 something plus tracks that I just
That's like unreleased.
I'm just like a crazy person, but I need to like put it out there. And some of it is like sample clearance issues. Most of it's just me like not hitting 100% with my brain and my heart or whatever connects to have me like put it out. But I think I'm going to start doing these disco tracks on SoundCloud, maybe Bandcamp, SoundCloud and Bandcamp. But it's just shit that I would
like
get
free
sued if it.
downloads type of stuff.
Yeah, just free download. Just straight up like disco bangers, like for the club. But it's stuff that I don't want to deal with sample clearance to put on Spotify.
So this is a question for both of you guys. You're both playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
So in your sets, like from start to finish, you know, what would be the average year? Like, are you going to play all new shit, all old shit? Or like if you had to average the year out of when the release date was, what year would that be?
Man, like put me on the spot. I was
okay.
gonna play only like June 2019 releases.
Sick. No, that's cool. Go hear all the new shit.
No, I'm a little too marginalized, but I'll probably try to throw in a few old things now since I feel personally attacked. But
Are you gonna play Quantum Funk?
yeah, what's that from last year? Yeah, or was that 2017? Yeah, I would say 2017, 18 ish up until tomorrow.
Cool. Keeping it fresh. And what about you, Proper?
Like anything from unreleased stuff to like, I don't know, I think I cap out at like 96.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be.
I
digging.
got an Armand Van Helden too that I want to play. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, on behalf of myself and Liquified, we want to thank you for taking the time to come out and chat with us. Follow these guys and check out our new events that we have coming up. Check out our shows we got at District next Friday. I believe we got Bonnie and Clyde in the house. So hit us up. Thanks for listening. And the podcast is now live on iTunes. So we would appreciate you guys to go give us a review, preferably a positive review. And any feedback you want to give, any guests you want to see on the show, tag them, share it, tell your moms about it, and check us out on iTunes. Give us a follow. Thanks so much, and let's all go party tonight.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you.